myself who used to be homophobic. These are conversations that we need to have. If we don't have them, the problem is that other people have them on our behalf, and then we won't have a choice.
Yeah.
Then age of consent will go down to 12 or whatever without our choice, because we refused to engage on platforms such as these, which are uncensored, which are not BCCSA, where we're not going to be dragged or cancelled, so to speak. So I was just asking, in your opinion, because you're part of a specific community that homophobes see. So they just want to know, okay, you want me to kind of understand you as a human being and seeing you. As a homophobic person, as an example, someone out there, okay, I accept you're gay, it's fine. But where must we draw the line? Because at some point, the blacks wanted the whites to see them as human. Then the women wanted the men to see them as human. Then people that had alternative sexualities wanted to be seen as human. Where do we stop? Someone wants to, obviously we said pedophilia is bad. Someone wants to sleep with their dog. And so where do we draw the line as the ignorant people out there who are like, well, I was heavily conservative. I'm trying to be open-minded. How far must I open my mind?
Can I answer you in a roundabout way with a nice little anecdote, which is one of my favorite stories that I will have to stop retelling because I've retold it so many times. One of my favorite current thinkers in the world on race is Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Who?
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah, the American essayist. And he's written...
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah, I mean, his book that everyone should read is called Between the World and Me.
Sure.
And it's him writing a long letter to his teenage son about what it's like being a black man in America.
Yeah.
And exploring all the difficulty of being a black body in a space that is white supremacist, you know, and what that reality is about.
Sure.
And he's just a very charismatic interviewee and public speaker and essayist, and he's really like become...
Oh, wow. I don't know about him. He's got books even.
He's brilliant. He's
Okay.
like, you know, he's like a sort of James Baldwin of our times and one of my favorite sort of thinkers of our generation, but also like a great speaker.
Sure.
And so he's popular on the speaking circuit in the States. And there was a black girl in one of his talks that put her hand up and said, listen, on this question of using the N-word, you know, there's a problematic question, who can use the N-word? And I don't know who can use it, whether us as black people can reappropriate the word. Should we sing along to rap lyrics that use the N-word, use words like the B word if you're a woman?
Sure.
Whether we can do it as black people, I don't know, she says, but sure as hell we know that white people shouldn't use this word.
Yeah.
But I don't have the language and the argument to give to my white friends for why they shouldn't use it.
Sure.
Can you help me out as Ta-Nehisi Coates, the race expert? And he gives a long answer, but the gist of it, which is quite funny but also insightful, is he says, listen, man, you know, one of the things we should say to white people is, what do you lose by not using the N-word?
Sure.
Like, tell me why you're so hell-bent on having a vocabulary that includes the word. Like, if your vocab is -1
Sure.
because of what we are triggered when that word is uttered,
Sure.
out of interest, forget freedom of speech, First Amendment, what, just at a deeply personal level as an individual white person, as Helen Ziller, how is your life diminished if you can't use this one word? Just between you and me. From me to you as Karen, if you just don't use the K word, how is your life diminished? What is the point in relation to your question? If you have a problem with trans people saying there's a mismatch between my biological body and my gender self-expression, what the fuck do you lose in letting that person go through that journey, including a redefinition that Home Affairs agrees with, and any kind of medical, psychiatric, as well as whatever surgery they need to undergo to align their psychological self with their bodily self? My question to you is, the person who says, where do I draw the line? Why do you want to draw lines? And how is your life diminished if instead of drawing a line, you go to the pub and watch the soccer instead and let the trans person just get on with doing what they want to do? Why are you invested in that question?
Sure. Oh, is that not rhetorical?
It's rhetorical to all of us. Like,
Sure.
That is the answer.
Sure.
When you say, where do I draw the line? Why the fuck are we having a conversation about a line that should be drawn? Why are you invested in that question?
Sure.
Go and catch up on that book that you haven't finished reading that's sitting next to your bedside. That's a more interesting use of our time than me needing to deal with you saying, but where will we draw the line? So it's really important to ask this meta question. Why am I obsessed with this question that I'm having at the dinner table right now?
Sure.
Why do I get upset that Joanne wants to become Joseph?
Sure.
Why is my BP going up that Joanne wants to have gender reassignment surgery? That for me is a far more interesting introspective question to spend time on than to say, what is this world coming to?